You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.
Hello.
Hey, Bronny. What's up, Brycey Boo? Hello, Bryce.
Hey, Dad.
Bryce is here with us.
Here we are, podcast 11, Bronson.
Episode 11.
Episode
Sure.
11.
Yeah.
January 10th.
10th.
Yeah. Tomorrow's the 11th.
That is how numbers work.
Yes, it is.
Tomorrow's 11121.
Oh,
Kind of cool. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, a lot of ones.
Yeah.
Right? Like coding.
At one point, it was 11111.
Dad knows nothing about coding.
Like coding.
Those are the zeros and ones, right? I figure a lot
I
of
feel
ones.
like that was like 90s coding.
Right. That's just like binary.
All right.
I had a dream last night
That old man will
that
create
me
an
and
equal?
you got in a huge fight and I yelled you out. Stop touching that, Bryce.
Seriously?
Yeah. And I like yelled you out and then like left the house.
What was the fight over?
I don't know. I just wrote that down this morning because I was like, I wonder why.
Why do you think? Seriously?
I don't know.
Well, let me play Bronson.
There was
No,
literally
quiet,
the
Bronson.
image I have in my head.
Bronson, why do you think that happened?
The image I have in my head of it is
Yeah.
like the only thing that's still there. You know how dreams kind of fade as you live the day. Is Bryce like holding me back and I'm like climbing over your shoulder like this to Dad. And I'm like, you're an asshole. I don't know what it was about.
Seriously, that's
Yeah.
pretty fucked. Like that would never happen. Let's
Why
be
was that
very
in my
clear.
dream?
I don't know, Bronson.
What did you do?
tell me?
What did you do? Or what are you going to do?
Or what is it that you have an issue with?
I don't know. I just thought I'd bring it up because I was
Is this the split of the podcast?
it's clearly that's an
11, we got 11
We did
episodes.
10 and 1/8.
Yeah.
That's interesting. First of all, I would never permit that in my household with my kids. You know that, right?
what, me yelling at you?
Like that, correct.
Well, right. That's what, and then I left after.
That's unusual. It almost happened at breakfast today.
No, you were interrupting me with the
It
conversation.
almost happened, but that's what was coming out.
Maybe it was. Maybe
Diva, you need,
was the
you need a
doorman.
Snickers bar. Are you hangry right now?
Badly.
Badly.
I'm not. I'm in a good mood.
Bryce, don't you sense it?
Yeah.
Like, give him a Snickers.
You know how like actors are totally different, and then when they say action, they're like a whole different personality. Bronson before this was not the happy.
But I still
like,
I
sense
was
it. But-
focused on fucking setting all this
Wait,
shit up
do you-
because
Bryce-
clearly we're in a new studio right now because our grandma is downstairs living in our old studio.
we're in new studio because we've outgrown the other one. It's got much. We've got
Two
too big.
episodes.
Yeah. So Bryce, don't you sense a little? It's right there percolating though.
it's a little hostility.
I think in 10 minutes I'll be okay.
I'm okay. Well, am I not okay right now? Am I not okay right now?
More pizza.
What was it from? What was that?
It's lasagna.
What was this movie?
It's meatloaf, by the
Oh,
way.
it's meatloaf.
And that
What's
was
lasagna?
Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers.
It's lasagna.
Well, fair enough.
Lasagna is an Italian dish
I know
of
what
pasta
Lisa- shut up.
with sheets of pasta and then meat and sauce.
And cheese.
But all right, I think you're getting better. So I'm curious to know why.
I would,
All right, don't
when
get
I'm
defensive.
focused-
Don't get defensive.
Oh,
getting
here's the
defensive.
dream.
I'm
Here's
not
the
getting
dream.
it's only back.
You are getting defensive, but why do you think you had that dream?
I don't know.
Do you have
I don't
anything
remember. I don't remember what we were fighting about in the dream. The only image I remember is like Bryce having to hold me back and me trying to climb
guy.
over his shoulders.
You wouldn't be able to climb over my shoulders.
And he didn't have hold you back. I choke you in 2 minutes. But more
I think
importantly,
that was the point of holding him back.
okay. More important. Nice.
Wow. So you
more
just
important-
threatened to choke me out.
No. Oh my God, Bryce. What am I gonna do when you go back? So Bronson, is there anything you want to talk about with me? Is everything okay?
No,
Are you and I good?
I thought so.
Wow.
Well, I thought so, but then the dream. No, but they do.
favorite.
I don't have headphones on, so I can't really hear that.
Okay.
Psychologists and neurologists nowadays think that dreams are meaningless anyways, that it's just neurons firing and we try to process it as something because that's what we do as humans, but it actually is meaningless. So
I kind of agree with that.
I do too. And Bryce, when you drink, you don't have to drink right in front of the mic. Literally.
I've realized we're all bad chewers
we
and
make
stuff.
bad mouth sounds, all of us.
Burke is by far the worst. Dad's an adult, so it's like there's no changing. Bronson's pretty bad. We ate sushi the other night, and it was repulsive.
Well, we were
Bronson
also sitting so close to each other. I don't know why. Like our knees were touching while we were eating. It didn't have to be.
Bronson's not a good eater with like a girl who's on a date. He's not a good eater like that.
No, you kind of have to put on. It's like how Bronson's
I
pretending
changed.
not to be upset right now.
You've grown?
Well,
Bronson, you've grown?
no. I haven't grown. I change on the date. I eat
Yes.
better when I'm on the date.
Yes.
But I shouldn't. I should just be myself.
By the way, we had this conversation.
Yeah,
You
screw
said-
that, actually.
No. And I said to you when we had this conversation, you don't want to be a slob. You being yourself, but still you want to be presentable and nice and impress the girls. Nothing wrong with that.
It's like, do you shave every day? No, but you shave when you go on dates because you want to be more presentable.
Right, you brush your teeth, you
Exactly.
do your hair,
You brush your teeth
put
every
cologne.
I brush my teeth every
you
day.
look, you want to look better, right? That's why I become a player.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on, Bronzy Boo.
So yeah, I don't know why I had that dream, but I did.
All right.
Maybe I'll have a follow-up dream. Have you ever had that where you have like the
won't.
dream is like the movie, and then a couple weeks later you have the sequel to it?
You want to hear my sequel dream?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do.
Very, very long dream short. I had a dream when I was probably 7 years old
That
that
all men were created equal.
you made that joke already and it wasn't funny the first
I
time.
want somebody to have that dream.
And I got
Someone
chosen.
has had that dream, Dad, very famously.
I got chosen to go into Hogwarts, and I became the fourth friend with Hermione, Ron, and Harry, and it was the sickest dream. And we were about to get on a trampoline, and then I woke up, and then probably 5 years later, I had a dream where we were getting onto the trampoline, and it took place exactly where the last dream took off. And
Seriously? And how did it end?
That's sick, actually.
we were just jumping on the trampoline, and then I woke up. That was the whole dream.
Wow, that's a great
It
dream.
was actually sick. Being the fourth Harry Potter friend is magnificent.
Awesome. Yeah.
Would you have any powers? Like, would you be a wizard?
Would you be a wizard?
Yeah.
Bryce would be a terrible wizard.
Are you kidding me? I'd be sick.
Bryce would just
I would
like
conjure
make
food. Yeah.
You're funny.
Conjure chicken parm.
So this is going to be our last podcast with you, without you calling in, Bryce, because you leave.
for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
You leave Thursday.
Go back to school.
Sad.
Yeah. It's about time. It was fun.
I mean,
being
you're not
home,
even
though.
going back to school. You're just going back to New Orleans. You're in school 4 hours a week. That's not even going back to school.
Yeah, probably not even that much.
Bryce, you got to do something. That's going to be fucking boring.
Trying to.
In a way,
I told you my idea. I'll do Instacart, but I also want to do.
But that's wear and tear on the car too, though, and gas.
Yeah.
So
Not
when
that
you
Do
much.
they pay gas?
I don't really know. I should
So
look into that.
I'm not paying the gas for that,
But
Right,
I want
Bryce?
to do.
Bryce.
But I want to.
You hear me, Bryce?
What?
If
Yes, I
were-
know you're not paying for gas. I'll figure that out.
All right.
But I'm more looking into side gigs, and one of them that I want to do is, I told you, like sell food, because I like cooking, and I can.
I
Make,
think that's great, Bryce.
and I make things that are cheap, and I have so much time. Make muffins and stuff, and my friend has a coffee company that does really well, and so I could sell muffins alongside him and stuff like that. And
right.
I don't know.
Complimentary
Sounds great.
foods, and
Yeah.
he already has that base in there, right?
I'll see if people are interested in it, and I'll post on Instagram what foods people
You can make
want,
meals for whatever. Yeah.
whatever. It'd be cool.
Mrs. Field started that way.
I don't think that's true, but
I do think that's true.
Mrs. Field started as a
as a college
college
No,
student.
I mean like in her garage, like just by baking cookies.
or like Famous Amos started that way.
yeah,
So
seriously.
what's the cupcake place?
By the way, Famous Amos, are they around?
Sprinkles.
Famous Amos is
Yeah.
around.
Famous Amos are great cookies.
No, they're so crunchy.
I like
It's
that.
a different type of cookie.
I like the dryness. Can we order some Famous Amos?
What happened to trying to eat healthy?
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right.
Also,
You're
order
right.
it. Order from where? Just go to the store and get Famous Amos.
Can you do that? I don't think I've
Yes.
seen them around.
Yes.
They're definitely around. They're in the same aisle as Chips Ahoy.
They remind me of Coach Toto a lot. That's just like a classic lower school snack.
I like Tate's. Those
Tate's
Tate's are
cookies are
good.
great.
really
Tate's cookies
I like
are great.
Tate's.
thin and crispy.
Chips Ahoy Chewy. Those are great. Haven't
Chips
had those
Ahoy
in
Chewy
year.
are great.
Years it's been.
Okay.
All right. So the big news this week,
Which is what,
obviously,
Bronny? What's
is
the
that
big news?
our country is falling apart. That's been
Again?
that's been the big news this whole
Again?
year. But it's a new year, and the country's already falling apart.
I think it's just the beginning. As to
Oh
what's
yeah,
gonna
I've been
happen.
saying that for a long time. People are like, "Oh, we just got to get to 2021, and then we'll be okay."
No, I think people
2021 is going to be a lot worse than 2020, folks. I'll tell you that right
are, or it could be
Folks.
better.
folks.
Could be better.
Better
No.
and worse.
How will it get better? There's no way. The virus is still out. It's gone. Apparently now the virus is worse than ever.
Oh, please. It is.
Say that
not.
every day.
It is
Right,
not.
but in quotes, the virus is worse than ever. Our country is more divided than ever. So how are those things just going to go away?
So
It's not.
maybe 2021 will be a good catalyst for our things to new good things to come in.
What do you mean?
Meaning that people, enough of this shit that's going on, that people will take charge and take some initiative to make a change, whatever that might be, where maybe 2021 is a pivotal year for things to be be instrumental for a good future.
Yeah,
Can't get
I think
worse.
it's already too late. Oh, it definitely can get worse.
Can?
Oh my
And
God.
it's currently
You know what I
getting
mean?
worse.
Every day it gets worse. It can get worse. Your house could be taken away. Your job could be taken away.
Not happening.
I mean, it easily could. It happened in Russia. It happened
Okay,
in
it's
China.
not happening. I'm telling you right now, 100% it's not happening.
Venezuela. It happened.
Not happening. Not taking my house or my job. What?
I don't know. It's just funny you saying that.
I was listening to
The truth. Never fucking happening.
I was listening to an anarchist, like philosopher who promotes. He says like,
Who promotes anarchy?
but just in terms of not anarchy is when people hear anarchy, they think of chaos. They think of
right.
like burning in the streets and lawlessness.
Stop picking
When he says
fingers.
anarchy, he just means the government is a monopoly and we need to dissolve that monopoly.
I agree with that.
He says,
but I agree with that.
We have anti-monopoly laws in every other field in the world or in our country. We have anti-monopoly laws for media, for cars, for healthcare, for security.
Right.
Yet the police are a monopoly. The government is a monopoly. So he's like, why do we need to? But then the bigger thing that he was saying, which I so agree with, is he's like, half the country, he's like, we live in a country now where half the country fully doesn't accept who's leading them. And he's
Right.
like, why do we do this? Why?
That's a problem.
He's like, why as a people do we live in a world, in a country? He's trying to take a picture of us while we're
It's cute.
He was like, why do we live in a world? If you don't like the person who's leading you, is he leading you? Just start a new country and have a new person lead you.
Because there's a big difference. Seriously.
Well, he was like, just secede. He's like, if you don't agree with literally the people who are making the choices,
But isn't
day
that
to
just
day.
the exact opposite of democracy?
No, but Bronson.
No.
If somebody gets voted into power,
Well, he actually doesn't even want democracy. He says anarchy. There should be no.
But Bronson, let me give you an example. So for example, because you have
The guy's name is Michael Malice too. For those who
you have half the country says, I don't believe Biden won. I believe it was fixed for the voting. We don't agree with it. We don't agree with Pelosi and all these terrible leaders that are out for power. So as a result of, why would I leave America? I want to fight for my country. This is where the country of freedom. This is where we built it. So we raised our kids. We came from nothing. We built up.
just start a new America then, and make it the one of freedom and
Bronson.
the country we live in now isn't the
finish.
country of 100 years ago.
Listen for a second. I don't think people have an issue with things evolving. Okay. The problem is it's getting so militant, so exponentially adverse in so many ways that I don't want to leave America. I love America. I just don't like who's running it and correction, how it's being run and the underlying real issues of why things are being done as opposed to for the benefit of the people. I think that my feeling is that the government in office is not for the benefit of the people. And why would I leave? Why would other people leave? If you love America,
what allegiance do you owe to America? Like just live your life.
But Bronson, where you told? But Bronson,
it's not just like you can go grab land anywhere.
It's like you're in college
and start a government.
And no, it's not like. But 1 minute.
No, but
Bronson,
if we just dissolve, if the country just dissolves,
Bronson,
away.
But
then it turns
Bronson.
into the connotation of what anarchy
correct,
is.
and we
deemed.
all just live.
No, and people rape and pillage.
Why
each
would
other.
they? Why would they rape and pillage, Bryce?
why would
Really,
look what
people
happened
murder.
in Seattle when shit happened when there's no
Right.
structure?
Right, but then in the free market, companies don't rape and pillage other countries or companies. The market corrects itself. The pack, that's Dad, your favorite sentence. The pack corrects itself, right? Nature always has a way of working things out. So why do people think that if the police didn't exist, that everyone would just be all of,
Well, there's just bad. There's a lot of
the
people.
police-
right? And the market would work itself out where there were security companies.
Bronson.
But wait, what's the difference between the police and private security companies?
Okay, what countries are what country is it better to live in? A country like Chad or the Congo, where the government really doesn't do much and is corrupt, and citizens kind of live in anarchy, or America, where people can walk outside, do whatever they want, and if you go against the government, there's punishment. And by go against the government, I don't mean try and dissolve the government. I mean, if you murder somebody, you are going to jail.
Right, but also that doesn't have. If the government doesn't exist, we can also have jails and we can also have laws.
Okay, Bronson. Let me.
We can have rule.
And
Dad,
privatizing
are you a government? Are you Jonathan Bloom a government?
No.
Do you have rules in this household that we all follow? And if we don't follow them, there are repercussions.
Okay, but Bronson,
But you're not a government.
okay,
So
slow down.
Why would other people listen to dad?
law,
no,
but
Bronson.
other people don't have to listen to dad. And if dad wants them to listen and they don't, then he shoots them or they shoot him.
And that's a world you
And
want to
that's
live in.
what normal.
That's the world we live in now. If you don't agree with the police, they shoot you.
No, that's not.
Within Bronson, there's
You don't agree with
social.
the police, they shoot you. Where'd you get that from?
That's the world we live in. Or you don't agree
Wait,
with the government.
wait.
They take you off
No.
Twitter and ban you. and-
Slow down. First of all, slow down. You don't agree with the police, they shoot you. That's a very
Or they put
ignorant
you in jail.
statement.
Or they put you in jail. If
No.
you don't agree with
Okay.
the laws in this country,
Okay,
then you get put in
Bronson,
jail by breaking them.
listen,
if you break them.
That's different. There's laws, okay?
Right.
And it's a thing called due process, and you're actually innocent until proven guilty. Now, things have gotten corrupt, but let's go back to your first statement. If you don't like it, just basically, and you live in America and you don't like it, leave.
Not what I said. I said it's crazy that we live in a place where
You said that, start our own America.
No, but so my initial thing was it's crazy the idea that we live in a place where you can disagree with the people who are fully in charge. You fully disagree with them, but you just have to live with them. You just have to do
okay,
that.
so you said
Isn't that crazy?
You
And I'm an
said, we,
idea.
not
you
crazy.
said we have to listen to dad, right?
I mean,
and-
you don't
and
have
people
to. We
should-
should leave it. If you don't want to listen to dad,
Yes.
you leave the house.
Could I move to Canada, Mexico, Israel, any country in the world? But I like.
Right, but
being
those are
here.
also still countries that you then have to.
I like. Okay, so I can go live on a remote island.
Just the
if I
idea of a
want.
country
Can
is
I
so
say
odd.
there's-
There's give and take. You can live with no infrastructure on a remote island in the middle of nowhere and not have a government, but you're not going to be able to get easy food.
governmental infrastructure, private infrastructure always is so much better than government infrastructure. The government does its job terribly in everything it does.
That's a different issue.
That's what I'm. So
Okay,
if
but-
everything that was
but wait,
government became
let's
privatized,
go back to- let's go
it
back-
would all be better. I think.
Privatizing jail is a whole separate
Well,
thing.
by the way, that already exists.
The jail
just
is already jail
I-
isn't public,
but
right?
it's-
Jail is already privatized,
But it's
No, but-
but it's subsidized also. So if jail was fully private, 100%,
Bronson,
it would.
it would be
Bronson,
a lot.
Bronson,
It would be a
they
lot
would-
better.
They would,
guys,
it would be a lot worse.
No.
guys.
Bronson, people would make money by the more people that go into jail. So you think you disagree with the government, you end up in jail. Imagine you
Right, but the market corrects
Imagine
itself.
people saying, okay, the more people in jail, the more money in my pocket. Then they're gonna really want more people in
Right,
jail.
but how do they get you in jail if there's no police?
Bronson, they could do.
What are you talking about? Seriously, you're not even making sense. I hope
No, you guys aren't listening
I
to
hope
me.
you're doing it just to be adverse and don't really believe this.
I'm not saying this is what needs to happen.
It's a
I'm,
discussion topic.
I'm entertaining ideas.
Let me ask
I'm
you a
allowed
question.
to entertain ideas without
course you are.
holding them true.
Fair.
As
Okay,
truths.
fair enough. So let
I'm
me
just thinking,
okay, so let me ask you a question. So
speculating.
Yep, fair enough. So the thing is, for example, if I don't like who's in office right now, okay, and I don't like what's going on with the government, which is very scary, and it's a concern of mine, and a lot of them are people that we know. The problem is I can't just pick up and leave. One is I love America. I still think it's the greatest country. It's got the greatest. It's got good health care.
Private, which is private.
Okay, listen for a second.
It's a whole nother argument.
That's a whole different issue. Let me just tell you.
I'm just saying.
He's not saying everything should be run by the government.
I'm just saying. I'm going to
Completely disagree with that.
I just want. You talked about why don't you just leave.
I didn't say leave. I just said it's crazy that we.
You did say.
you did say people should secede if they don't want to be a part of the
Correct.
country.
Right, but
they
seceding
don't
is
agree.
different than leaving.
No, you said.
If Florida secedes, Florida's not leaving. It stays where it is.
Florida seceding and me being like, I don't agree with the laws personally, I'm going to secede. That's a completely different scenario.
Well, there's no way to independently as a person secede.
You said
Not just
if
leave.
you do not agree with the laws in America, the leaders in America, then secede.
I'm not talking about on an individual level, you, Bryce Bloom. I'm talking about like as people, as a culture.
Let me say this. Let me
what
say
precedent do you
this.
start?
Let me say this. We know the reality. There is nothing that's perfect. Autonomy, is that correct? Where it's beautiful utopia and everything's exactly the way it should be. The problem, we have billions of people in this world. Is that correct?
Eight.
How many in America?
330 million.
Okay,
About.
so we have a couple.
Thanks.
Listen, Bronson. We have a couple of hundred.
John.
Like a couple of 100 million people living in America. That means there's so many different opinions, so many different likes and dislikes.
Right,
How
that's
you're born.
crazy.
No, it's okay. That's a beautiful thing. That's what makes America great. There's nothing wrong with people having difference in opinions that want to see things evolve differently. And then
I
if you
agree.
say hypothetically, like now, let's say, like our world, okay, from slavery and even racism has grown and women's rights and things like that. Things have grown in a positive direction. We all agree from an ideology standpoint, we as people have grown. There's no question about that. And America,
at least in America, yes.
Listen, I'm talking about in America, okay? And what I'm saying is, so with that in mind, and even though there's problems and there's so many different people, I like the difference in views. I'm okay with that. People don't even have to agree with me, and I'm okay with even a politician, even a president, not agreeing with, let's say, my necessary beliefs. I'm okay with that. That's not the issue. And I think America was founded upon that, but there were constitutional rights and freedoms that our country was founded upon. And what happens is, because we talked about this earlier today at brunch or breakfast, there's no real checks and balances for our government, and it's gotten so corrupt now. That's the problem. I think the people are getting annoyed on both sides. On both sides, this is what's happening, is that there's such corruption that I don't believe that the government is whatever side you're on is really for the general benefit of the people. And this becomes
is government ever really for the benefit of the people?
Well, okay.
For the large mass of the people.
Listen, the answer is, I hear you, Bronson. I hear you and
I'm just thinking.
I hear you. But I don't agree. I think that, unfortunately, and I hate paying taxes, we need the government. We need some sort of rules. But I think
you can have rules without having a government.
Wait, but I think we still.
Who enforces them?
You don't. You can have rules without enforcing rules.
So what's the point of having rules?
You have moral rules, right? Like you have rules that
Bronson,
you think make a good person. So who enforces moral rules?
Okay, but Bronson,
you think that we should all just have this moral compass that just leads us all in the exact same direction?
It will never work.
But then,
what if my moral compass tells me, I don't like that guy's hair, I'm going to kill him?
Right, but also
then I'm justified.
But that guy might have private security and they mow you down.
Bronson. Okay,
so it's just a world where we can just do whatever we feel like.
I think it's a silly concept.
Anarchy and chaos are not synonyms.
I think this is very silly.
But you're explaining chaos.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, because the police are having anarchy doesn't mean that there are no police.
What's wrong with the police?
Wait, no, but so having anarchy doesn't mean there are no police. It just means that police becomes privatized, so there's competition. So the police right now are a monopoly.
So you're saying
the police are a one thing that has no.
No, it's not a monopoly.
Who's the competition to the police?
The police are not monopoly.
They're a private security company.
By the way, no,
who's the competition to the police?
Bronson, the police give people protection and freedom. That's part of our taxes. It's not like it's saying it's a monopoly or not. I'll give you an example.
Of course, it's a monopoly.
So what about people? What about people who can't afford private security? They should just, if somebody comes and wants to break, somebody wants to break into their home.
There are levels of
security. They can't afford it.
Bronson, what if they can't afford? There's people who can't afford food. You think that they're going to be like, okay, well, we're going to starve because someone might break into our home because we can't afford.
Or what about? There's the government.
But also there are solutions to that too.
Such as?
Grow your own food.
Okay, Bronson. If you...
And then what happens if I say, you know what, I have...
By the way, that's what the world lived for thousands of years before.
Okay, but we've evolved significantly. Third world countries, by the way,
life is also hardest now than...
No, it's not. It is not. Let me explain something to you.
Life is so much easier now than it was.
Life is easier now for us.
1,000 years
ago. You guys are... Listen. Listen.
Life is also way more problematic now.
It is not. Listen, you guys are in your 20s.
More problems.
The life of a farmer 3,000 years ago was harder than how we have it. But simpler and honestly, I would even argue more fulfilling and rewarding.
Get rid of the fucking news, 24-hour news and social media. Throw the fucking phones out and you'll see life will be amazing. Get rid of the fucking World Wide Web shit. That's the problem. The problem is people sit there on their fucking phones and their laptops and the computers, searching shit, believing and drinking like it's fucking Kool-Aid. And they're like, oh, this makes sense. Everybody wants to belong. That's the problem.
I just feel like America, we've had a good run. Why not try... America's had secessions in its past. That's literally what the Civil War was.
Okay, let me explain this for a minute.
Half of America seceded, had their own constitution, their own president, started their own thing because they didn't agree fundamentally with the other half, and then the other half fought a war over it.
You think that ideologically that the South should have seceded and been like, you know what, we actually want slaves, and the North should have been like, you know what, that's right. You guys are welcome to do whatever you want. You shouldn't follow, you said, this moral compass.
You're putting words into my mouth. What I do think, I don't agree with that, but what I do think is that people who live in fundamentally different worlds, which is what happened between the North and the South. They lived in the culture was different. Food was different. Music was different. Thought was different. Religion was different. Way of life was different.
Why do you think there's state legislation and local legislation?
Right, but so
There's a reason
nowadays
for
it's
that.
even more. There are like 7 different cultures living in this country.
What's wrong with that?
There's 50.
Clearly, it's not
cultures.
working.
No,
Clearly, it's
okay.
not working.
No.
Look at how crazy the country
Okay,
is.
Bronson.
That a lot of that has to do with
It's not
that's that news
culture.
and social media.
It's not a cultural issue.
You fundamentally live in a different world. The way you think, the way you see the world, your morals, your thoughts, your values are so different at this point than an Antifa, blue-haired feminist.
Okay,
who's
what's wrong with
rioting.
that? What's wrong with that?
You guys live in different worlds. How can you coexist? You can't coexist anymore. It's too far gone.
Okay,
because laws don't say
I
that.
have a question. Do you really believe that? Are you that?
I really do believe that we've gotten to a point in 2021 in this country where the country is so divided
and different. I agree.
The country's always been divided. We've always had Democrats, we've always had Republicans, but at the core of it, we always knew that we were all Americans. People don't think that way anymore. People think, I know that I'm right, and they're not only trying to ruin the country, but they're doing it purposefully. Like you believe Pelosi and AOC
It's all about
are
power,
purposely
yes.
trying to destroy the country.
And you know how they're able to
And
do
that-
it?
But wait,
social media and
here's
fucking
the other
news.
thing.
No, that-
the other side looks at you and Trump and McConnell and says the same thing.
But what do
so
you-
how can that coexist?
Because Bronson, look at ready for this? Look at the hippies and the Vietnam War and the Korean War. They didn't want to spread. People were saying, "Oh, we have to go invade because we can't let them spread communism." And hippies were saying, "Are you kidding? Like, don't invade. Don't go. Don't
But
go."
also there were like barely any hippies.
Okay,
hippies
but
were not that big.
It was just as polar opposites as it is now. People are no matter
Bryce, it
where
wasn't.
you live, no matter what country you're from, what the
It's
people
worse today,
believe
though,
in.
Bryce. It's bad.
Hold on, listen. What I'm saying is there's always going to be arguments and there's always going to be polar opposites.
Of course.
The reason that we think it's so bad and the reason
Social
why it's getting
media and the
uncontrollable
news.
is social media and the
But
news.
also-
that's the
also-
only difference.
But Dad,
That's how it grows very
in the
quickly like a
60s with
fucking
in the
vi-
60s with
plague.
hippies, like a middle class like corporate worker who was the opposite of a hippie, right? Like had 2 kids, a homeowner, had a Cadillac, right? Like that kind of guy.
American dream type person.
What would have been like, oh, those stupid ass hippies, damn those hippies, but that was it.
Can I say?
Now you, who is that, right? Like you view Antifa, Portland burning down the courthouse, blue-haired, feminist, whatever. You view them as not just like, oh, that person's crazy. Wow, I can't believe you. You view them as they are the evil
Well, let me explain
problem in
why.
this country, and we can't have them.
Let me explain why.
There's a difference, but
Well,
to
listen,
Bryce's point,
but
it's not
listen,
just like, oh,
it's
those
not
hippies
so
anymore.
different. It's not so. Just listen for a second. It's not so different. The problem is this: is that when, because of the selfish needs of the government, the people in power that are really doing the right thing, these people that have taken it to that have a different view, which are allowed to have a different view, the minute they go from protesting to rioting, which is unprotected speech, and there's no ramification, they want to take down our fucking statues and our memorials. Let me finish.
Or our Capitol building.
Listen. Let me finish for a second. Yeah, but listen. But I look at it a little bit different. I'll tell you the reason why.
Okay, we'll get into that.
Okay, and I'll tell you the reason why. I don't agree in violence. Period.
Hold on, let's discuss that later. Finish
yeah,
your
go
point.
finish your point.
I'm going to tell you, but I look
just
at
wanted
I
to
look at
like
that differently, and I get it. I know we'll talk about that, but the difference is that when you start doing that and you say I'm above the law and I'm going to take the law in my own hands, and now the police are being told to step down, or military is being told to step down because it becomes they think a political movement by the leaders. So what happens, and this is all done by social media and by the fucking news, what happens, I have a hard time with it. So then what happens is you become guilty by association. So I'm okay. Listen, I'm very against the white Aryan race groups, okay? I'm against anyone that has hate speech, things like that. I'm all against that stuff. I don't think anyone's better than anyone else. However, the minute, and this is wherever, that you start affecting someone that doesn't, you want to march, go all fucking day long, do what you want to do. But when you now start affecting a third party that doesn't want to do it, you want to give your opinion, as long as it doesn't affect me, fine. I have a real fucking hard time that someone thinks that they're above and they can damage and destroy what doesn't belong to them.
So before we go into the Capitol stuff,
Yeah. And it's,
you've
again,
said-
all fucking social media.
You've said
doing this
multiple
shit.
times, New York, California, Washington,
Fuck 'em.
Oregon, let them all do their own thing.
'em, yeah.
Right. So then how can you also say we should all exist in a country together if you've said they should all do their own thing, let them fail?
Meaning, listen.
Why do you want to live in the same country as those people then?
Because there's nothing wrong with diversity in the country.
But you literally said they
no,
should-
because here's the difference. I choose to live in a place. For example, when I grew up,
But we're all governed by the same government.
that's okay. I'm okay with
Not
that.
necessarily.
But wait, I'm okay.
We literally are.
Bronson.
Yes, but we have local and state
Right,
governments.
but federal rules
But
supersede
I'm okay with that. So
local rules.
I'm willing to subject myself to America and the federal laws and the state laws. If I don't like a particular state, I can move out of that state and still be governed by America because it's free. America is free, and it's the land of opportunity. I still believe that. However, the problem is these fucking you want to vote locally for the mayor of LA or fucking Portland, Oregon, whatever, or De Blasio with fucking New York. Then stay in those fucking cities and states. Don't come down to Florida. Don't come here and fuck up our state. Because these people are gonna fuck up our own place, and they're gonna, you know what's gonna happen?
Right, so you're giving me even more
No, I'm not.
reason for that
No,
Florida
I'm
needs to be
not.
its own thing.
He's saying
No,
the country of
I'm not.
America, what makes the country of America so great is that there's so many different opinions, there's so many different cultures, types,
And stick
of
together,
personalities,
and
that they all live communally together.
Right, but we don't anymore.
But we have different sects,
Right, I
which
agree
is
with
what
you.
makes America America. We have Florida and Texas, which are more similar, and now you have California and New York and Oregon and Washington State. That if you really want to live in these very liberal
Then
places,
go there.
Go live there.
Right, but
If
also
you
get
wanna
the
live in
benefits
these
of America.
different
Europe
places-
the European Union is all these countries that have different cultures. You can travel between them all. It's very
That-
similar
the-
to America with the states,
Correct.
Except they're countries. So at the end of the day, their rules are what's more powerful than the
All right, so now we're talking about a different issue. You're saying should each state break off and be its own little individual government?
or
Okay.
Maybe.
By the way, if it can financially afford it, I have no objection to that.
and if it can't financially afford it, then it should fail. Then it like a
Possibly.
if a business can't afford to be on its
but
own.
I still believe
No,
I still
because
believe-
it's a part of say a part of Amazon on its own as its own independent company does not exist. But with Amazon, that helps. You can package that into different parts.
but
and stuff.
Bryce, it's a valid
creates
point.
the part of Amazon.
But then also you fire the CEO of that small company who was failing it.
Bronson, if Florida was its own place,
Would
and
be
I-
Bezos.
Listen, watch.
No, the small part of the
Guys.
of the part of Amazon that whoever was the project leader. On that, basically, what I'm saying, if North Dakota can't survive on its own,
Then
if
it shouldn't
was-
survive.
Then it
Costco-
shouldn't survive,
Bronson.
or it gets swooped up by South Dakota and just
Correct.
becomes Dakota.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But the
no,
treat it like a free market.
But the difference is, I'm in favor of that with the one caveat. I still think that, let's say, each individual state, if they broke off their own, should have their own individual government. It should not be privatized. I think there's nothing wrong with government for the common area, the streets, the road, the taxes, who you vote in should be the democracy.
I just
I'm okay
think
with
why
that.
do we need why do we need 500 people who are out of touch with the reality who live in Washington
Maybe,
D.C.
but-
to make the rules for
Okay.
all of the cultures of America?
Guess what?
Just let all the cultures
You're
of
right.
America do their own thing.
Or better yet, Bronson, then fucking overthrow these people and let's get real people in it.
like how does Florida or like Louisiana be governed by the same people as Washington State or New York State? Like they're so different.
Well,
Let everyone do their own shit.
Well,
and if
they're
you
all
don't like
local.
living in Washington State with those rules, then move to another state.
I'm okay
But
with
make
that.
them all an independent.
That's
I'm
right,
but
okay
you're
with that.
still there's still the overarching Joe
doesn't
Biden
that- but
or
doesn't that-
Donald Trump.
Doesn't that
So you're
create
saying
some
every
sort of
state
checks
should
and
not pay,
balances?
wait, every state should not have federal taxes.
I
is what
think
you're
if
saying.
all the states become their own independent entities, and we all like the European Union
Okay, but Bronson,
is all these different countries
I have
that
a question.
all coexist.
What if New York has a weaker army than Florida, and Florida says, "I'm going to take over New York"? Then what?
Then Florida takes over New York. That's how the world works.
No, I don't know.
But the
if I-
whole point
no.
is that
That's how the world
we are
works, that-
one.
If
No,
we
don't
wanted
take-
New York,
we don't take over places anymore.
Also,
that was
Bronson,
years ago.
Bronson,
We're
if South-
civilized now.
say
We don't
South
do
Dakota-
that.
but also one could argue that that's even a problem. That we're all too much of a, and I don't necessarily agree with
A
this,
union?
like too globalized. We live in a global world.
You think,
And we're all too
so I have a
dependent
question.
on each
Bronson,
other.
you think I should then, so on a lesser scale, you think I should go over to my neighbor's house, and because I have 3 boys and we have all these guns, we should go over and take their property?
No, but that's a different. That's
Why is that different than me taking over the state of New York?
Ideologically,
If
It's
if
exact same
you are a business and there's a smaller business that you know you can take over, or like your friend, I won't mention names, who was the CEO of the big Canadian company, and he was trying to take over the smaller company.
And
it didn't work. But then the other company who was stronger took over them.
No, it wasn't
purchase.
takeover. It was a purchase, not a takeover.
There's a huge difference.
Right. The buyer could say, I'm not selling for any price. I have no price.
Okay, so a purchase or a takeover. I mean, what?
Dad could go next door and say, "Hey, I'd like to offer you $12 million for your house," and they'd be like, "Definitely."
Right. Or
he could also go next door with guns and say, "Get out of your house, or I kill
own
you."
it now.
This is my house.
I agree with you.
So then you don't
What's a
support
better
the
society?
Iraqi or the Afghanistan war.
You mean taken over by force? They should go fuck themselves because they should not be able to take over by
They
force.
is us.
Explain
America.
what you're talking about.
No, we're not taking over their country.
We have military bases all throughout their
But
country.
it's not to take over their country. It's to create.
Okay, wait,
To what, Dad?
Bronson.
It's to what?
It is not.
Why should we have to do anything? in their country?
Wait. So Bronson,
Why should we be involved in anything? Halfway across the world?
Okay, here. So
you don't think as
believe-
America's
There's a
the one
rusty
as a
nail.
powerhouse? It's a nail.
Rusty nail. Okay, so Bronson, you believe that these not husbands and wives, these mothers and fathers who do drugs, beat their kids.
I just dropped it.
It's okay.
It's on the
beat
carpet.
their kids, are horrible to their kids. You don't think that the
step
government
in?
should come in and say, "Oh, hey, what you're doing is wrong."
Someone should definitely step in.
So then you just are disagreeing with Bronson.
No.
These theological governments were taking over people.
We are the powers. It's our obligation to help those.
Why is it our obligation?
Because we're in a position to help. Bronson, if you walk down the street,
You really think that we went into Afghanistan and Iraq to help them?
Bronson,
We went to Iraq and Afghanistan for power,
So you think
for
that rich people
stability.
shouldn't donate money? They should say, "Haha, you struggle with your own problems. We're not going to help you because you're not good enough to help yourself."
That's not what I'm saying.
Bronson, in these countries, I'm not saying what we did was right, but in these countries, these theological governments were controlling their people, murdering innocent women and children.
Right.
And America said,
terrible.
"You know what? It's about time that somebody does something."
Has America
because we
gone
don't-
into China to stop the Uyghurs?
So should America and Russia have stepped in? Should America and Russia have stepped in during the Holocaust, or should they have just completely desecrated our people?
Thank God for Russia.
So why aren't we step in when it's America steps in when it's convenient. We don't.
We stepped in too late.
Right now, there's arguably one of the biggest genocides in history happening in China. Right now, literally right now, the Uyghurs are being exterminated. They're being castrated. They're being
But
educated.
you got to stick to one issue.
No, but we do when it's convenient.
Wait.
China owns the world, so we don't do it anymore. That's what I'm saying. We become too global
because our government's
we're
corrupt.
too dependent on everyone.
Bronson, you got to stick with
Trump
one
said
issue.
we should stop this.
Stop.
He's not
one issue at a
He
time.
hasn't done it.
One issue at a
can't do
time,
anything
Bronson.
at this point.
The issue you brought up was that why should we help those who need help? That's really what you were saying.
Not what I said at all.
Yes, it was.
You simplified my argument so much. Why?
I mean,
Like,
that's
what you said.
I said, why is America obligated to step into Iraq? I didn't say, why should we not help them?
And that's your argument because let me ask a question. When
So then why are we helping in China right now?
When you walk down the street,
Bronson.
Bryce, when you walk down the street, Bronson, and if you saw somebody beating up a woman or stealing a pocket or beating up a kid, would you step in?
Yeah, I'm not
Okay,
obligated
why?
to.
No,
but I
and you
would.
know why you would?
America's not obligated to do anything. There's
Because
no
you're
law
in a
that says we have
position,
to.
you feel that in our world, when we are fortunate or big or strong or wealthy or whatever it might be, a more powerful army or the free will, whatever, okay, the free world, we are in a position as people when we can to step in and help those who cannot. That's the whole beautiful thing about it being a human being. What creates us different from other animals and other species. And the difference is, and if we don't have the government and we don't step in and try to correct things, then you do have this anarchy and chaos, whether you want to interchange them or not or intertwine them.
Well, we also right now have a government and chaos.
Okay. Bronson, nothing's perfect.
Government is an anti-chaos.
We all know, no matter what your political views are, we know that things are flawed. Everybody will say things are flawed. No one in the world, right, or no one in America says things are perfect. We know there's problems. And I've been saying for God knows how many years, the problems stem from the social media and the news. But it's here. There's no way around it. So the difference is, how do we correct it? I don't know the answer to that. But we do know that one good thing that's been great about social media and the news to some degree is that it showed us that there is major corruption. And that means bringing the ship boil to a head where people can't hide things with cell phones, with cameras and videos and so forth, where things were able to get swept under the rug more easily cannot happen now. So that's a positive. But I don't know if I know the answer, but I'm saying that I'm not giving up. I'm not just going to say, oh my God, it's over. Yes, it is a shitty fucking time that we have to deal with. And we have to make a difference for the benefit of my remaining 40 years of my life, your future ahead of yourselves and your kids. So we have to make a difference and somehow we have to make it work. Now, it's not going to work when you just hear me out. We only hear the extremes, right? When you have the majority, okay, you don't. I'm sorry. You only hear the extremes you hear because this is what sells on the news. This is what's sexy, and so people want to hear, and they create this hysteria and scare further for people. Again, whatever your political views, we have to. So somehow, maybe it is an uprising. Maybe it is a civil war that's required. I'm not opposed to that. I don't know what the answer is.
Right, but then, if a civil war happens,
Yeah.
what's the outcome? Is what I'm saying. If the outcome is Antifa versus alt-right,
Then maybe a different leader comes in.
no. But if there's a civil war between those, a war means that if one side wins, that means the other side has to lose.
But losing can happen different ways.
Okay.
Losing
so, what's the outcome of a civil war?
maybe things calm
Millions
down.
of people dying.
Maybe that
knows?
happens.
Right,
Maybe.
but
I don't
then
know.
instead of
The
doing
outcome-
that, but instead of millions of people dying, why don't we just say, you know what, you guys do this, we're going to do this, and let's go our separate ways. Why do we need to be married? Let's just get divorced.
Bronson,
Why are we
So then I have
struggling
a
to
question.
keep the
So what-
marriage?
so what
It's
happens-
a failing marriage. Why can't we just get divorced?
No, but what happens this way, Bronson? We want to say, okay, we want to do a road trip across country. We want to leave Florida and go across country and want to go visit in LA. And along the way, we got to go through, let's say, Seattle and whatever, and we get to California. And all the roads, they say, no, we're not letting your kind in here.
It's such an
That's
idealistic.
absurd. Wait, but
you're
no.
thinking, hold on.
Why?
Let
Why?
me-
Just because
Because, Bronson,
you can
why-
drive across Europe. You can drive across 12 different countries in Europe.
I
So
can't
Bron-
go. I
okay,
can't drive
Bronson.
in Lebanon.
So Bronson,
I can't drive
so
into
who
Jordan.
gets Israel? Who
Okay,
gets
but-
Jerusalem? Who gets Jerusalem then?
What do you mean?
You're saying
I'm saying
why,
in America.
Why stay married? Why not just get divorced? Because Bronson, Republicans are gonna be like, okay, we get Florida, and they're gonna be like, no, we want Florida.
Okay, so then that's when you fight a war.
That's when a war.
So what do you think? They're
No,
just
but
gonna make,
Bronson,
you guys
no.
get Florida.
I'm
Oh,
okay
we
with-
want New York City. Oh, okay, cool. You guys take New York City. That's
I'm
not how
okay
things
with
work.
America.
Right, that's not how it would work. I agree.
That's why you can't just be like, oh, let's just
I mean, that
divorce.
also has happened.
Have you-
Yugoslavia used to be one country, and now there's
Yes.
Bronson,
Two so, yes.
we're
countries.
50 states. Have you ever? When was the last time you heard of?
Brexit used to be part of the EU, and now it's its own country.
And people, half the country hates that.
But there have been secessions in the past.
But the problem is
Bronson, when was
America's
the
and
too
they
large.
aren't super.
When was the last time-
America's too large.
Too
First
large.
off,
Right, and
and too
geographically
diverse.
it wouldn't work.
Bronson,
That's the
I
problem.
agree
I
with you.
agree.
Wait,
When was the last time you heard of a divorce where the two people divorced and they were just like, oh, I want the car and the house?
No,
Cool, sounds
no.
good, man.
No,
That
Bryce.
doesn't happen.
Better yet, I'll take the one kid. You take the other kid.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen.
So here's the deal. I agree with you theoretically.
I mean,
sounds
ideally,
nice.
that's how it would happen.
It sounds
We don't
nice.
live in a utopia, though.
America is still better than any other country.
Right, but you can have two Americas. We can have the good America and the bad America, and whichever one you think you live in is the good one.
But you're just talking about ideologically is what you're talking about. It just would never. It physically
Well, it
can
couldn't
never
work
happen.
geographically. That's the problem.
It physically can never happen. What if I'm
Right, geographically.
What if and what if I'm a person who lives in LA?
There's too many
but
people.
I disagree with what
then you
that
don't
country.
Right, you're gonna sell
and
your
you
home.
choose to live
then
in
now
LA
I
or you
need-
leave. In the South, in the Civil War, there
You
were
don't
people
get
who
to choose,
didn't-
Bronson.
In the
We've
Civil
grown.
War, there were people who didn't agree with slavery in the South, and they
you
moved
had
to the
move.
North.
Yeah,
Yes.
Right.
So half Bronson, California is the largest.
If the Nazis took over the country in a year and were running the country, we would probably leave. We would not continue to live in this.
Yes, true. So that's a world you wanna live
Sometimes
in?
if you live in a government that you don't agree with, you leave.
That's true.
That's okay.
true.
And sometimes
So
they
I'm
don't.
saying if you live in LA and you don't agree with it, then you leave. That's what
Okay,
I'm doing.
so
I'm living
what if-
in Florida right now. I didn't agree with what they were doing and I left.
So what about the people?
Right, only because they
Hold on.
shut down. You're going
What about-
back.
Right, but that's because the
Because your
government.
job.
Hold on.
Right, but the government has made choices
But
that I
you
don't
are-
agree
but
with. So
you
I
are-
left.
What happened?
no,
what
but
happened
you're
when the
going-
Nazis said, "Hey, we're taking over Germany"?
Jews left.
Really?
The smart ones.
Or did Jews
The smart ones
sneak
left.
out late at night?
Well, that was
Otherwise, they were
but
persecuted
what
and
year?
murdered.
What year are we talking about?
Bronson,
I'm talking in 1934. Jews left.
when
They
Jews
flew.
started to figure out what was going on. When Jews really had a good idea
Well, at a
of what
certain
was
point,
going
it's
on.
too late. Right.
Yeah.
It's too late.
So
Right.
who knows,
But also,
Bronson? We
but a
could
good
hold on, let
American,
me
bad
talk for a
America.
second.
Bad America doesn't have
Let
to
me
be like
talk
a
for a second.
totalitarian.
Say Antifa wins and gets California, right?
Okay.
And you live in California, you have your house there, you're not here, you're there. And they say, okay, this is Antifa country, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, everything's going to be totally fine. It's just, we believe in these ideologies. And you're like, okay, Fine, as long as nothing's going to happen, my taxes don't change, nothing
Right,
happens.
you worked hard for your home.
That's what
Kids
the
go to
Nazis
school
said. The
there.
Nazis said,
but
hey,
also-
we're going to better education, we're going to better healthcare, we're going to do all these things.
I mean, they also
and-
said death to all the Jews. They said that from
and
day
you
one.
know what? You're like, okay, great. Like nothing's going to happen.
But Bryce,
and you're a
that's-
registered
but
Republican.
But Bryce, you're
Hold
simplifying
on.
it. The Nazis
Let
also
them
said from
talk.
day one,
But you're
death
re-
to the Jews.
Let him talk.
There
So if you were a
there
Jew that was
more
like,
to it.
we'll ride it
Bronson,
out,
They
you
did
were-
not come out day one. Hitler did not come out day one and say all Jews should die in his main speeches. You are incorrect about that.
I studied the Holocaust when he was before the Nazi Party was even in the Weimar Republic as a like what's it called? And when they were even in the parliament before that, when they were speaking in beer halls, and there were 7 of them, and he was giving speeches. That's the platform he was running on.
Bronson. Okay, Black Lives Matter, right? They said on national
all lives
news,
matter.
Black Lives Matter on national news said, if we don't get what we want, we're going to burn it down until we get what we want.
Okay.
They
And
said
I
that,
have a
right?
problem with that.
Hold on. It's just listen. They said that. Does that mean they're going to do that? Does that mean that
They did it.
If I disagree with them, that they're going to kill me in cold blood? No. It's a way of speech.
Bryce,
No.
that's the stupidest.
Hold-
Bryce.
Bryce, you were
Listen,
good up to
So
that
Adolf
point.
Hitler, when he was
Second.
speaking in the beer halls, saying death to all the Jews was just a way of speech.
Bronson,
Yeah,
he spoke in the
Bryce.
beer halls to his followers.
Yeah.
He didn't speak to Jews.
Either way, it's still a problem.
Black
when
Lives
he
Matter
was-
is speaking to their followers.
Right.
Bronson, when they go on national news and say these things, when I hear that, I'm not like, oh my God, Black Lives Matter is going to kill me.
Oh no, I hear if they say
You hear
Bryce,
this
I
guy is
don't
going
understand what
to
you're trying to
Yeah,
say.
me
My
either,
point
Bryce.
is, Hitler said these things, right? Jews weren't like, I need to get out right now. I need
Yes,
to
they were. The
uproot.
smart ones were, Bryce. I'm telling you.
So
Bryce, I
you're saying the
studied
Jews?
this.
You're saying the Jews who stayed and died are stupid?
They made poor
Yes.
decisions.
Yes.
Yes, Bryce.
Bronson, it was so.
Yes.
It's not just easy,
And
to
not
be-
every Jew could have left, of
This
course.
is so much easier said than done. It's not
Of course
easy
not
to
every
just
Jew
go,
could have
No one's saying
left.
it's easy.
Hey, let me sell my house, and I can't sell my house. Let me just move.
When did I ever
'cause
say it was easy?
Bronson.
I said good choices and bad choices.
Bryce,
It's not.
Bryce,
I don't even know how we got on
Bryce,
this.
I got to tell you something. I love you, but I think you're wrong in this. The facts
I don't
remain.
think so.
Listen, I'm going to tell you. The facts remain that the Jews that decide to stay and fight, which I get, I understand both sides completely.
They didn't even decide to stay and fight. They just decided to stay because they were like, it'll probably be okay.
Fought,
It'll
and
probably
they
be
just
all
were
right.
not strong enough. The Jews fought. They just were not
Yeah.
strong enough. Okay, other armies fought. They took over Poland, the army. It was because of the Russian army that was not. They tried to take over Russia, and Russia's too powerful. So the point is,
You're talking
people
about the
fought-
Nazis did, yes.
Correct. People fought and lost. So my point is it easy to pick a move? No, but you can.
What I'm
You
saying
can
is
pick a
there
move.
And if you have to, if it's life or death,
You move.
Then staying in and choosing death is a bad
Okay,
decision.
but
What about
I am
hurricanes?
saying-
People stay in
hold
hurricanes
on,
to
listen.
protect their home.
What I am
Idiots.
saying, the point I'm trying to get across, shouldn't have said Black Lives Matter. West Palm Beach has one of the largest population of neo-Nazis
Not
in
one
America.
of the largest.
Okay.
No, the largest.
You know how close West Palm is from us?
Yes, 15
30 minutes?
miles, yes.
15 miles, right?
Yep.
They literally say, death to all Jews. There's, what's that slogan? 6 million wasn't enough. That's their slogan, right?
Okay.
For saying that all the Jews should be extinct.
It's a problem.
They live 15 miles away from us, and what
Okay,
do we
and what's
say?
your
Big
point is-
difference,
And,
though.
hold on. And what do we say?
Fuck them.
Okay.
No, you know why?
Nothing's
'Cause
gonna
we're-
happen to
Because
us.
we're more
Bryce, if you-
powerful
Well,
than
it's
them.
not even that. There's a huge difference.
Nothing's gonna happen to
if,
us.
If 7 of those people were the ones that were making the rules of the society that I live in, I would leave. They don't make the rules.
No, I would kill them.
No, but that's what I'm
There's-
saying. There's the difference, Bryce.
There's
They
people in
they
this-
don't have the power. Neither do I, but they don't.
Bronson.
Right. They just
If
don't
they
like
do
Jews.
one day, then I leave, Bryce.
Okay.
Then I leave.
Or you fight them.
What's his name? David Duke?
Yeah, David Duke, yes.
Had extreme and immense amounts of power in America. He had so much
In certain,
influence.
not in Boca Raton,
no, no,
Florida.
not
But he had so much
power.
influence over
Influence
politics.
is different.
Not
No.
right. Influence is different than making laws.
Okay,
The
Bronson,
second the Nazi
influence
party,
on lawmakers.
The Nazis came over and took over and acted as the government. Big difference.
Yes, but before Hitler was Chancellor of Germany, he was just a person who had a voice.
Correct. But
And Jews
right.
said, you know
And-
what?
and Jews
He's
didn't leave
gaining,
then.
He's gaining
Right.
popularity, but I'm not going to leave. I'm not
Right,
going to
but
sell my
David
house.
Duke
I'm
is
not
not
gonna
gaining
uproot my family.
popularity.
David
So
Duke
wait,
was
but
had
Bryce-
millions of followers.
Bryce,
Dad.
Bryce, here's what it boils down to. If you lived in Nazi Germany as Hitler was coming to power, before he was fully the Chancellor of Germany,
As he was just a part of parliament.
So he was a part of parliament
Yeah.
and he was saying his things. If you, as a Jew, were like, you know what? Let's say you had like children. You were like, you know what? I'm going to get my children out. Let's go to America.
Yeah, I have a good feeling about it.
It's going to be really hard, but
you made a great gamble.
You made a great choice.
gamble.
Right. That's all I'm saying.
Gamble.
That's all I'm saying. You made a great
Gamble.
choice.
You made a great gamble.
No, choice. Not a gamble. You're going from
This-
one
it
location to
was-
another. It's not a gamble. It's a choice.
I mean, was a risk because you're uprooting your life, but it was a good choice no matter what.
I can guarantee you there are people in our government that are part of the Nazi party. I can guarantee
I'm
that.
sure we know about the communism with the or Korean spies.
Communism's different.
But we say,
the Korean spies?
but we
China.
But why do we know that?
Korea is a good country.
But why do we know that and say,
my opinion.
hey, we're just going to stay here? You're telling me if...
But look, we're also talking, look at this conversation. We're talking about literally seceding right now. So we're not just complacent, like, oh, let's just let everything happen. We're not.
What I'm saying
we're literally
is
talking about
is-
the succession.
It is far easier said
We're
than
not
done.
talking about succeeding.
We're talking about it.
No,
Not succeeding.
We're talking about. We're
Seceding is different.
We're talking about the issue facing our country. None of us talking about
No,
succeeding.
we're not saying we should uproot and leave, but we're having conversations right now about how do we exist in a
Here we
country
go.
that we don't agree with.
Here we go.
That's what the Jews were doing 7 years before the Nazis were owned Germany. That's what the
could
Jews
be
were
right.
doing.
Okay. You could be right.
Not half the people.
They were starting to talk about it.
Many people...
And the smart ones got out early
Many people...
before it was too late.
Many
not
people
leaving
who
America.
took over the Capitol building, right? Many people who took over the Capitol building. Arguably one of our most important buildings in America.
If not the most.
If not the most.
Actually, it is the most.
Yeah.
What could be more?
Many people who took over that building on Wednesday, whatever it was,
Are outwardly
were
Nazi.
wearing
Yes.
6 million is not enough.
Camp Auschwitz.
Armbands, Camp Auschwitz. They took over the Capitol building with force. And that's not going into our heads like,
Oh, it is.
holy
That's-
shit, we need to get the hell out of here.
Right. That's why I'm talking about this.
So what I'm saying is, yeah, it's easy to say, well, the Jews who didn't get out, like they should have noticed. Yeah, well,
Not
we
what I said.
literally, okay, well, that's what I'm saying. What we had on Wednesday, where that exactly happened. Yeah, our president's not a Nazi, but we had people in our Capitol building with guns wearing 6 million is not enough.
Yes, and Camp
outwardly
Auschwitz.
wishing that the three of us right now were no longer alive and couldn't reproduce.
And they made a mistake because they should have gotten Pelosi.
And you know what? We're sitting here saying, yeah, well, they should have left. We should leave then. If you really believe that, we should leave.
That's why I'm saying Florida should be its own thing.
We should go to Israel. If you really believe that, because we don't know, a year from now, those people could be the ones who take over our government.
Yes, or in 7 years
If
from now,
there's
we
a
might
civil-
live in a country where we're not allowed to be.
If there's
And
a civil war,
it's
by the
too
way,
late for
and
us.
it's Antifa versus alt-right, we're screwed either way.
Yeah.
We'd rather
Jews are never liked by anyone.
Antifa win, Dad. Because if
Yes,
the
if it's
alt-right
Antifa
wins,
or alt-right,
if the
we want
alt-right
Antifa
wins,
to win.
we're not living in this country.
As Jews, we want Antifa to win. As a businessman, you want all right to win. That's my opinion on it.
You'll see. I think the moderate, average American that you don't hear about the extreme that aren't so extremist. There's a lot more numbers in there. I don't think that will happen. I think
Yeah, but I think it's too late. I think the minorities have all the power now. Not minorities in terms of race or gender or anything. That's what I mean. I mean the minorities in terms of political thought or power. Like Black Lives Matter has more power in this country than a moderate person who doesn't even watch
I don't know.
the news.
I don't know if I agree.
Well, what's
with
an
you.
organization
I don't know.
versus just a person?
I don't think I agree with you on that. I think that
Right, they're organized.
I think it's a social.
and we're not.
Well, one's
and they're an
100,000
organization that has the backing
Are they
of the
really
Democratic
organized?
Party.
They are the Democratic Party. It has nothing to do with fucking black people. So my point is, it's social media. It is the Democratic Party.
Right, so what I'm saying
I
is they have all the
think-
power.
No, I don't think so. I think what's going to happen is, like you
What
said,
power do you have?
Listen for a second. Did you not say even the Black Lives Matter movement is getting pissed with the mayor in LA and the governor and so forth, things like that?
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen is, I think there will be a civil war. I do think there'll be a civil war.
We're already in a civil war, and I've been saying this for a while, and people are like, no, what do you mean? Because they think of war as physical.
Death, yeah.
So they call it, there are types of warfare.
That's not like Keanu.
So-
Who said that? Keanu Reeves?
What?
No, what do you mean, dude?
So we're in 5th generational warfare now. War keeps evolving. 1st generational warfare is like standing army versus standing army, thousands of people, and you just run at
I
each other.
think that's
and
going to
all kill each
happen
other.
now.
So that's 1st generational warfare. That hasn't existed for 1,000 years, little less. Then hold on, I'm going to get up the generations because I want to read them.
Does my point that I was trying to make more sense now that I brought in the Nazis inside the Capitol building taking over? Does that make more sense now?
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Bryce?
Okay, 1st generation
love you,
warfare
buddy.
is
You know that,
ancient and
right?
post-classical battles
You know that, right?
fought with
Yes.
massive manpower, lines, and column tactics with the uniformed soldiers. 2nd generation warfare is early modern tactics used after the invention of the rifled musket and breech-loading weapons. So that's guns.
I have a musket.
Third generation warfare
don't.
is late modern technology, which is leveraging speed, stealth, and surprise. So that's like World War II was third generation warfare with tanks and planes where you
Correct.
could go in, you
Yep,
could
yep.
take over super quickly. Fourth generation warfare is postmodern, decentralized, where it's blurring the lines of war and politics, combatants and civilians due
That's
to
us
nation
now.
states' loss of their monopoly. And no, we're in fifth
No,
generation
that's like
warfare.
Soviet Union. It
They're
sounds
saying
like
fifth generation warfare is the battle of perceptions and information. It's a cultural and moral war which distorts the perception of the masses to give a manipulated view of the world and politics.
Social media
We're in
and the
fifth
news.
generation warfare, and we're in a civil war. If you agree with that, if you agree
Okay,
that that's a
fair
form of
enough. If you
war,
agree with that, yeah.
then we're in war right now. We're
I
in a
hear ya.
war of ideas.
Yep, I hear you.
And there were both sides, and
No, I hear you.
I don't even know what side. There is a clear winner as of right now. That might change because the left is winning that fifth generational war. Definitely winning.
Hopefully not for long.
We'll see.
Yep, time will tell. But I will tell you one last thing. That even if the left does win this, you're going to see in the next 4 years, they're going to beg. Everybody's going to beg for the other side. You'll see.
For Trump, beg for Trump.
For
Definitely,
a major change. But we'll say we'll come back 4 years from now and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to something lighter because we just did an hour of ranting about anarchy and
Chaos.
and the ending of America. So in the news this week, there's been a lot of so in the news, you know who Kanye West is.
Yes.
You know he's married to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Have you heard that they're getting a divorce?
I heard that. Yep.
So that's been big in the news.
Like really, I find that zero newsworthiness.
Yeah, I agree, but it's been in the news. And then there's a rumor that came out that tries to give reason. Like there's a rumor about why they're getting a divorce.
I find this to be just a waste of time.
The rumor says that Kanye was having an affair with Jeffree Star.
Who's that?
So Jeffree Star is
What's so funny, Bryce?
you'll see when you see a photo.
Jeffree Star is a YouTuber.
A guy.
He started as a YouTuber, now is one of the largest makeup brands in the world. It's like a multi-millionaire from his makeup brand. He started as a makeup YouTuber.
Unbelievable.
And now he sells makeup, and he's huge. Like he has a makeup empire.
Very weird looking though.
Yeah.
So Kanye's gay?
No.
well, so
it's
these
probably
rumors.
fake.
So
Wait. Another Kardashian turned a person
he's
gay. No.
Yeah.
Look at Bruce Jenner. He was a fucking icon.
transgender.
Triathlon, okay? He was a triathlon icon. And as a result of it, he goes ahead and the Kardashians turned him gay. Go figure that one out. All right. But then so let me see what the deal is and we'll go from there.
Okay, so it started with this TikTok, which was this TikTok. I don't know where they got the
Let me
the
see, I
information
can't
from.
see.
Turn sound on.
I will.
And who's she?
So she's just
Nobody.
this TikToker and created put this TikTok, and this is where the rumor started. So we're gonna go back to the source, and then I'll show you Jeffree Star.
This, I feel like I can spill the tea that I've been holding on to for months. This whole divorce comes as no surprise. Kanye's been hooking up with a very famous beauty guru, male beauty guru. A lot of people in the scene have known for a while. Now that Kim's finally doing this, I feel
Okay,
like
so
What's she having in her mouth?
that's a vape.
Oh, fucking idiot.
So that went viral. It has 1 million likes. 1 million likes. That means it has way more views. I can't see the views on here.
Is she a famous TikToker?
And this was posted 5 days ago. She said, "I can't say who because he'll sue me. Hint, hint. But it's part of the reason Kanye's so religious now. It's his self-hatred. My source is legit. I promise." Spelled promise wrong. So that was posted, and then a lot of people were doing investigating into it, and the reason. So Kanye, now lives almost full time in Wyoming,
Okay.
and Jeffree Star.
Why would I even know that?
That's just
Or even care?
Yeah.
I don't,
No,
Kanye West, I think, is a fucking shitty musician. I don't know why he even connected in any way.
I
and
honestly
why-
don't care about any of this, but I just
But go
thought it'd
on.
be funny to
see-
bring Jeffree Star up to
And
you.
just to see
I want
what-
to see this.
to see how dad reacts to what he looks like.
So
Kanye's gross looking.
Kanye's been living in Wyoming. Jeffree Star, a month ago, bought a house in Wyoming and has been living there.
Interesting.
And so people were like, okay, that's interesting. And then Jeffree Star, hold on, I'm going to his Instagram. He posted a week ago, he said, "So ready for Sunday service," which is what Kanye,
Religious stuff. Yeah.
well, that's
Well, it's
Kanye
just,
every
new
Sunday
album
holds,
or whatever.
no, he holds a religious service every Sunday. Okay, so this is Jeffree Star. He's a guy.
That's speechless.
Oh my God.
So for those who don't know,
that looks like Marilyn Manson in pastels.
and he's covered in tattoos, the whole body, and he has colorful hair. It's a guy.
What's that outfit? Let me turn that around. It's not a guy. That's a freak.
Jeez.
Wow.
Multi-millionaire from makeup.
What does that say about our society?
So this is in Wyoming.
Oh my God.
Let's see if I can find.
That's a little creepy, don't you agree?
So, and they live like near each other in Wyoming.
That's a
I'm
guy.
trying to see if I can find the Sunday service thing. Maybe he deleted it. So yeah, that's Jeffree Star for you. And then
That's
now,
not a guy though.
it's a guy. I'm
But-
always open for business, it says here. So then
weird.
Jeffree Star responded and said no, but I wanted to show you just so you can see what he looks like. And
I want to see this. Oh my God, fucking freak.
It is 10 degrees. So I'm scrolling on the internet, and I read the dumbest shit I think I've ever read.
He's scary.
My entire life.
very scary. Covered in tattoos, has no eyebrows.
Okay. Hey y'all.
It's a crazy morning.
It's an interesting morning. We were just about to do glam. Hair by Jay just landed from LA.
Huge nails.
So many wigs. But this is what's happening today.
Yeah, that's enough for me.
Why is Jeffree
He's honestly
Lynn
giving me nightmares.
Number 3 trending. I woke up out of bed, Chris.
So he
and I'm
denied it, obviously.
Yeah, there's some.
But what do you think? Kanye.
like, Kanye West might be sleeping with Jeffree Star. I can't.
Oh
And
my
then
God, look at these
I'm
fucking
like, How
people.
did we even get to this moment? Like, how would that even be made up? Because we both live in the
fucking
same
Wyoming.
state, right? Whatever. So
creepy.
I guess some girl made
It's
up
also
a
so
whole
funny
lie
that
on
all
TikTok, and it
they're
went
all moving to
viral,
Wyoming.
Where she
Why?
insinuates
Because
Kanye
they're
and
sick of
Kim
California. They want more
divorced
land. They
because
want more
a
space.
big
They want
male
less regulations.
influencer is sleeping with him.
Okay, first of all, let me say something. There's some serious.
I just woke up.
You know what? I look at
my
this
life,
shit.
and I'm like,
I look at this
is so
thing.
weird. I have people
Okay, I look at this thing,
news people,
and I say to myself,
like,
"This is what makes money, and it's what people follow."
Oh,
That's the problem.
This guy's like an icon.
Don't you see the problem though with the society?
yeah.
That's the
Well,
fucking
I've
problem.
told you that. Yeah, for sure. Like
leaving Kim's house.
This fucking person is a fucking freak.
Stupid.
that's what I was saying earlier. We were having a conversation a while ago where I was like, the values and morals in our society are backwards.
Beyond.
We value the wrong things.
That wasn't.
Oh my God,
This is so weird. So
Bizarre.
So
Bronson.
yeah, who knows? Well, look. So I'll show you what like a normal video of his looks like.
People need to look up Jeffree Star so when you comment on our Facebook and Instagram, you'll see this. Fucking freak.
I'll try to show you what like a normal video looks like where he just does makeup and shit. Let's see.
I don't understand this. This person.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are ya? All right, you guys. Hello. Today, it's time for another makeup review. It's been a second and it's been a minute, but
And he'll literally this is 22
on
minutes.
Twitter, and I
Look,
was
this
like,
whole video I'm
Just
scrolling
talking.
through, just standing in front of this camera
here, but I need
and just putting makeup on
really show. Okay. Oh,
and
yeah.
built an empire around this.
So weird.
Okay. Okay. You don't think this says a lot about our society?
No, I agree.
This to me
It's
is
sad.
worse.
Queen of Pink.
This to me is worse than the separation of our country with regards to Republican Democrats. This to me is a bigger fucking
This
problem.
is like we need to burn the whole thing down.
Yeah, this is
It's like
this
the
is what
fall
our
of Rome.
kids are
We need to, like,
following.
end.
That's some fucked up shit. That this is what our kids are following, and this person makes millions from makeup.
Millions.
Okay, I can't
Let's
even
look it up.
comprehend that.
Let's look up his net worth.
Bronson, they need to bring social media down.
18 million.
18 million. 18 million.
It'll be
Wait,
gone.
wait, 18 million from his YouTube endeavors alone. His makeup brand is much larger. It's probably worth
Yeah.
40 million, 50 million.
Yeah.
And who's buying this? Young girls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I
Bronson, that's how many followers?
14.2 million.
Could you imagine?
Crazy.
Yeah.
What did he look like
And now
beforehand?
Kanye's fucking him.
I think he probably always looked like this.
Let's see. Jeffree Star. Young.
Looks like there's no photos of him.
That's one. Oh my God. So his real name's Jeffree Steininger.
Jewish guy.
Wow. Look
Wow,
at
disturbed.
that.
Yeah, that kid's a Unabomber.
Uniballer.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, good for him for making this
Millions.
into an empire.
Who's your little sidekick? The Asian person right there.
That's probably his sister or something. This is James Charles, which is a whole other thing that we can get into, but we don't need to do that. James Charles is like the same kind as him, but yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting.
I have a hard time looking at that and seeing that.
It's a little scary.
And comprehending that this is where our world's going. This is, again, becomes the beginning of the end, where in 10 years, what's going to happen? We're going to be the freaks. We're going to be on YouTube and look like we're the freaks. Normal. It's the truth, Bryce.
Honestly,
right, Bryce.
Think about it. Yeah.
The normal person. This is the problem. The norm is the abnormal, and the abnormal is the norm. That's fucked up.
These things like this and many other things that are happening in our society, it just like is marking the end of an empire. It's the end of an empire.
You're not concerned about that?
I don't think about it day to day.
You try not to.
Yeah.
But I don't think about it. I never thought about it until I see this. But
it's
you
also,
don't think you're going to be the freak when you're on Instagram.
You know what I'm just thinking now?
In a tuxedo on your wedding day because you married a woman?
Who knows?
What's interesting is that the two like biggest names in makeup now, James Charles and Jeffree Star, make up a very female world, are guys. The two biggest names, and the women put them up there.
The women.
You would think that the makeup industry would be run by women.
The women drink the Kool-Aid just like Oprah. If Oprah says there's a book out there, the women buy it and it becomes a number one bestseller. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. All right.
Why?
So now you know Jeffree Star.
Why are women's? You dry clean a women's pair of slacks and they're double the price to a men's pair of slacks? Well, interesting.
People would argue that that's because we live in a misogynistic patriarchy.
No, you think it'd be more for the men. I think that
no. They're saying it's
women are willing to pay more. Women are willing to pay more for things, and whatever. That's all. I'm not going to get in the man-woman thing right now.
No, we don't need to.
But I see this shit, and I'm sorry.
Very
person's
scary.
fucking mentally disturbed, fucking freak, weirdo, and I'm shocked this person has 14 million followers.
Well, now Kanye West is leaving Kim Kardashian for him, apparently.
From what
allegedly.
we hear. Well, Kim Kardashian. Listen, the Kardashians make their men gay. They do. They did Bruce Jenner.
Just go crazy.
And Kim Kardashian. Let me tell you, she's the one in the spotlight. The other one, the normal one, is the pretty one. Kim Kardashian looks disgusting.
Is there even a normal one of them?
That's true. I don't mean normal. You're right. But I think Kim Kardashian looks disgusting. She was pretty and could have been pretty.
Yes.
With the fat ass injections and shit like that.
Agreed. But now that's the beauty.
She ruined her face.
Standard. That's the standard of beauty now. Is Kim Kardashian.
Okay. Right.
And that's.
They look up.
Honestly, just burn America. What I was saying earlier, just burn it. Just burn it down.
Didn't Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian make their fame by having sex tapes?
Pretty much.
Kim Kardashian definitely did. Yeah.
Okay, I know Paris Hilton did as well. That's a fact. So my point is, they literally have branded themselves through social media by having a sex tape, and they're now an icon, and people look up to them. And didn't they come up with? Didn't the dictionary say Kardashian is a verb now? I think the Webster put that in.
I don't know.
Look that up, Ron. I'm telling you.
No, you know what it was? Like a Kardash or whatever was a like unit of time because her marriage was so short. That's what it is.
No, I think it's so Kardashian.
No, that's what it was. Hold on, let's see.
Look, Webster put in. I think it's a legal word now. Definition. What's it say?
Nothing.
Either way, it's pretty fucked up. Kardashians. Stupid show. E-television.
Nothing. I don't know.
All right.
Okay. Can't find it.
All right. Well, let's end. Now we're going to have nightmares.
Yeah.
Okay. It literally looks
You close your eyes, you see Jeffree Star.
disgusting.
Close your eyes. I thought you were going to, I don't know. Never mind. Actually, I'm not going to bring it up. I was going to say something about Jeffrey Epstein, but I don't need to bring it up.
I didn't see him either.
All right. So yeah, we'll call it. Big shout out to our Brazilian listeners because now we have double Brazilian listeners than American listeners for some odd reason. So shout out to you. Hola.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. Portuguese.
Yes. Hola. O-L-A, not H-O-L-A.
Look at that. Well, you know, Bronson knows all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is actually scary in the fact that he knows all that stuff.
Yeah.
Why is that scary? It's impressive.
Sure. And we still have a lot of topics. We never get to these topics.
So I literally, for this show, just for everyone listening, I had literally, look right here, 2.5 pages of show notes. We wanted to talk about the Capitol siege.
yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
I have videos and pictures and tweets all about the Capitol siege, and I want to talk about Trump being banned from Twitter and Facebook. And we didn't get to.
So are we going to do 2 shows a week?
Now we'll just have to save this for next.
How many does your friend, the guy Tim, and
my friend?
How many has
Multiple.
Tim Dillon.
every day?
He does one a week. He releases Tim Dillon show. He does one every Sunday, and then you can pay $5 a month to the Patreon, which I do, and you get a second show a week. So I get 2 shows a week, but most people get 1 show a week.
So why don't we do 2 shows a week?
You'll get there.
Yeah, we'll work up to it. We don't need to do 2 shows a week, but
We never get to our topics.
We'll save the Capitol building siege to talk for next week. I wanted to talk about some Kamala Harris interesting things, but we can save that all. This episode was already very
There's nothing
political.
interesting about Kamala Harris.
Yeah. All right.
All right, love you guys.
See you
Babe,
guys.
Bryce, you'll be in college next week.
I will be back at school.
How do we handle that, Bryce? We'd love to have you on.
Do without me. You can call me in every once in a
But
while.
can
if
we
you really
now with our
want
new
to.
soundboard? Can
Yep.
we do that?
Look, see, here's the phone icon. I can call him in right there.
You can call me in if you want. Every
It'll
once
be
in a while.
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that work? The phone icon. Explain how it works on the soundboard.
I plug my phone into this mixer
Oh, understood.
and then call Bryce, and then it patches right into this.
Love
Very
it.
sick.
That's like, hey Bob, we have a caller on line 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey Tim, I'm here calling from Washington State, and that's what they always sound like.
Never do that.
Love,
You're right.
love the show, Ben. So I got a question
Never do
for you.
that again.
That's what they
That
always.
was
That's
good.
what
A
they
little
sound
scary.
like.
A little
That's
scary.
what they sound like.
Wow.
All right.
That was good. All right.
On that
Thank
note.
you, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll speak to you. We'll see you guys next week. You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me.
The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.